In this episode, we're going to talk about triggers and patterns and how they steal our happiness. Stick around. Let's talk about where our emotions go south, right? Where do these negative emotions show up? And let me give you a quick example. It used to be that I was driving in my car. I was driving along, and someone pulled in front of me, and they took this space that I felt comfortable with, and I no longer felt comfortable. I was now tailgating someone, where before I wasn't, okay? Now, I was not happy about the situation. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was upset. I was like, nah! I was cursing their mother. I was cursing their cow. I was cursing anything I could think of. I was angry. I was frustrated. Okay? Now, I did not enjoy that experience. That experience was more of a negative experience for me than a positive or neutral experience for me. It did not make me happy. When I got home, I needed to cope with it. I needed to process with it. And it was not a happy day. Okay? So that's a trigger. When someone cuts you off in traffic and you have to deal with that, that's a trigger. Because you're believing, well, where did this problem come from? It comes from your belief. The belief is people shouldn't cut me off in traffic. People should respect my space in traffic. People should something else, right? So it's all these shoulds. And when I believe these and they get violated, I get angry, I get triggered, I get frustrated, I get mad, I am upset. Okay? So that's where triggers are, and they come from our belief system. We're going to talk a ton about it, but I just want you to see this triggering business and how it ruins us. So after I use these techniques that we're going to talk about in this video stream, and I had removed some of these beliefs, like people shouldn't, all these things, then I was driving in my car. I was going along. I had a nice, comfortable space. There was a lot of people around, but it was like no big deal because I had my comfortable space, and someone took my comfortable space. And I sat there like an idiot and did nothing because I was waiting for the trigger. I was so used to the trigger happening and me going, ah, right, I'm so mad, how could you? It didn't happen. I didn't trigger. And well, it was really uncomfortable because I'm just sitting there waiting for it to trigger because it's triggered all my life. Why would it be different now? Well, it's different now because I did all these techniques and they went away and I didn't even realize it. But I sat there. I sat there and did nothing. So what did I do? I finally did something, right? I slowed down because I was uncomfortable because I'm tailgating somebody and I wanted to slow down. So I did. I slowed down. I felt comfortable and then I kept going. And this is the crazy part, the absolutely ludicrous part. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. I was more surprised than I was angry. I just kept going, and really quickly I forgot about it, and I went off to thinking what I was thinking about. What in the world? Isn't that crazy? It was so exciting for me to see that very physical manifestation of this work that I had been doing on myself, and to see it work. Fantastic. Okay. So that's triggers. So triggers are what triggers some emotions, and maybe we don't want to feel them. Sometimes we do want to feel them. Christmas morning, I get triggered too. I feel all sorts of wonderful thoughts and feelings. I don't want to get rid of that one. I like that one. That one's staying. It builds up the happy thoughts. All right, but triggers. Great. Now, there's this other thing I noticed when I was doing this, which was I had this tendency to repeat myself. Now, I mean, not like I'm saying the same things over and over again. I'm talking about my experiences. My experiences have this tendency to just do the same thing over and over again. So, I don't really have a perfect example to give you, but let's say my boss didn't always treat me the best way that I wanted to be treated. And I didn't actually see this one at first because it wasn't bad, but it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And they kept treating me not like the way I wanted to feel, and I didn't like it. And once I started examining that experience and looking for it, my subconscious had picked up some thoughts when I was really young. We're going to talk about that. We pick up things that didn't work for me, and I was actually subconsciously creating this situation where I didn't get treated well. And once I changed that initial thought, it changed everything, absolutely everything for me. And now I don't have that experience. A really good example would be my friend Miriam. She had learned from a very young age to burp out this adult vitamin she was given when she was a child. So she would burp it up, and she would purge. She didn't think of it as purge. She thought of it as burping, and then she would feel better. And so she subconsciously connected, purging feels better. Well, later in life, she was so she picked up some beliefs when she was young about body image, and later she tried to change her body image using purging. And when she got to me, she would purge about 3 to 7 times a day. Right? That's what she felt. Or what her experience was. 3 to 7 times a day she would purge to try, and it would help her feel better and that. Well, she knew what these problems were from her childhood. We went back, we used these techniques, and we removed the source. We removed the root, okay? The root of the problem, we removed it. The next day, she went from purging 3 to 7 times a day to nothing. Let me repeat that. She went from purging 3 to 7 times a day to nothing. Whoa. Okay, so what happened? The very root of her cause, the cause which is in her subconscious and her subconscious, we got rid of it. The root, the belief that was being violated, the shoulds, the thous, we got rid of those using the techniques we're going to show you. We used those techniques, we got rid of the roots, and she didn't need it anymore. The anxiety, the anxiousness, it wasn't there anymore. She didn't need it. It's so exciting. This is the kind of change we're talking about here. Like it's not quite the same as my driving example, but it's still valid. We change quickly. And that's what's exciting about this, in my opinion, is that we change so quickly. Okay, so I got to talk to her. It's been 3 years since we talked last. She's purged 7 times. So I'm going to put up numbers here to tell you about how many times she would have purged had she not, versus the 7 times. It's an incredible number. It's an incredible change. Okay, these triggers, they get us, and by removing these triggers, we're happier. By removing these patterns, we're happier. Okay. There's also the patterns, these people, and trust me, these people, the people that can never find love, that no one can ever meet their expectations, or they really literally can't meet anybody, right? They're those that just can't seem to get a job, or they always end up getting underpaid. That's a pattern we see in people. Things just don't work for me. I have pain. I have some friends who they have a lot of medical issues. And it just seems like in their lives, they always have these medical issues. It's sort of this pattern. Well, some of those are caused subconsciously. They have certain beliefs that are manifesting out through their life. And it's really exciting when you can get to the bottom of those and let them go. So what is this all about? What am I trying to make the point of? The point is this. When we hold on to these triggers and don't process them and let them go, we end up slaves. We let go of our freedom, and when we get triggered, we feel an emotion. Now, if that emotion happens to be positive, okay, good. Hey, whatever, we're going to keep that one. That one's staying. But if we get triggered and it hurts and we're in pain and we're in agony, that one's going. I'm getting rid of that one. That one's out. I do not want anything to do with that. And we can. And that's what's exciting. Okay, so next episode, we'll talk about safe spaces. And until then, we'll see you then.